The trial of the Bus Rapid Transit BRT driver began 3 years ago in March 2022, when he was charged before the Lagos High Court, sitting at the Tafawa Balewa Square on the Lagos Island, on a 5-count charge bordering on conspiracy, attempted rape, murder, and sexual assault. The defendant pleaded not guilty. But 3 years later, the court has returned a guilty verdict on 4 out of those 5 counts. The news of the death of the deceased 22-year-old fashion designer Bamise Ayanwola went viral at the time, particularly for the gruesome manner in which she was murdered. Her body was discovered along the Carter Bridge Expressway 9 days later. In her judgment, Justice Sherifat Shonaike held that even though there was no direct eyewitness account to the incident, the court relied on a series of circumstantial evidence, the evidence of the pathologist, the dying declaration of the victim, as evidenced by the voice notes, all of which the judge said pointed solely to the defendant as the last person to see her before her death. By his own admission, the BRT driver said she boarded his bus alone, and when combined with his history of raping his female passengers, evidenced by the extrajudicial statements of at least 2 of them, and the terrifying voice notes sent out by Bamise just before she died, the court held that there was only one irresistible conclusion, that the defendant and no one else murdered the deceased. The court sentenced him to death by hanging for the murder. The convict was also found guilty of attempted rape of the deceased and given another 14-year jail term for that offense. The court, however, discharged the defendant on the offense of conspiracy, insisting that the prosecution had not proved sane.
He didn't do this thing alone, all right? So from the admissible voice notes Bamise dropped, were made to know that there are other people in the vehicle, all right? There are other people in the vehicle. So if this is all Nigeria police can give us, they cannot bring the phone she was using to do the conversation. Because when this guy was tracked, it was actually tracked. We were tracking the phone of Bamise and himself. And they were in the same location. All right? So when you got this guy, definitely Bamise's phone was with him. All right? So what happened? What about these other accomplices?
We have always been asking, the convict now, who has been a murder suspect, we are told that he has been in prison custody. And we want the prison authorities, or the authorities rather, to confirm to the whole world if indeed, as at the time Andrew was arrested, he has actually been in prison. Because, so that it will not be like case of Bobrisky, who were later told that he was in prison, now said that there was a rented apartment very close there. And on the day of coming to court, he will come.
While the defendant's counsel has vowed to appeal the judgment, the trial court has also appealed to transport authorities to overhaul their recruitment processes to ensure passenger safety, particularly for vulnerable individuals. Shola Shoyele, Channels Television News.